Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm coming to you with the Pisces full moon lunar eclipse video. And if you've been under a rock, maybe you don't know, but September 7th, depending on your time zone, the time it happens for American Pacific Coast, it's like 11 a.m. I think. But there's this Pisces full moon lunar eclipse, and I think a lot of us will be able to see it. Don't quote me on that. Google it, figure it out. You know how to find information out these days. But I really want to do an intro video for the Pisces full moon and then go into what this could mean for your rising signs, all the zodiac signs. So if you like my content, please subscribe, share, like, leave a comment. I don't know if I said that already. And there will be timestamps in the description. If you like to work with me, there will be a link on how to work with me as well. But you could always click your timestamp if you don't want to hear some information just about this Pisces full moon. And click your timestamp and it'll take you right there, and it'll get a tarot and just what this can mean for you. Anywho, the Pisces full moon is happening on September 7th. It's at 15 degrees and a little bit of change, which most astrologers round up to the next degree. So 16 degrees, and 16 degrees of Pisces is a Cancer degree, which is a harmonious aspect because water and water, good things. So right away, this lunation is really going to bring up themes of sensitivity, nurturing, emotional depth, intuition. And then I look at the Sabian symbol because my astrologer also looks at the Sabian symbol. And when you learn from the best, right? So Sabian symbol, I don't know if you can see the book, but it's over there. The Sabian symbol for this moon and 16 degrees of Pisces is a flow of inspiration. And that already just lets me know. And it's like, you know what? I had already been feeling this intuitively, that this is a time for us to come back into our creative flow. But this lunation is really about reconnecting to inspiration, creativity, divine flow, maybe even to your spiritual self. Into your spiritual self. So astrologically, so just to do some transits regarding this moon, it is going to conjunct the Pisces North Node. If you didn't know, the nodes are in Pisces and Virgo, and that's the eclipse season, right? And it's going to oppose the South Node in Virgo. So it's going to really, hopefully for you, really guide you towards this growth in surrendering, growth around your spirituality, growth around your imagination, and simultaneously help you release rigidity, perfectionism, and control. Oh, that Virgo-ness sometimes. We love it, but also, it could do a number on us. This moon is also going to make harmonious aspects to Jupiter in Cancer, and Lilith in Scorpio. I love a good Lilith aspect, while forming a wide opposition to Mercury in Virgo. So if you didn't know, Mercury is out of Leo and it's into Virgo right now. There's also supportive connections between Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. I'm really not going to get into that, but I suggest you look at where Gemini is, where Aquarius is, and where Aries is in your chart, and it's going to make a really sweet kind of aspect there. And then Venus is going to work beautifully. Venus in Leo is still going to work really beautifully with Mars in Libra. To sum this all up for the beginner, because my stuff is for the beginner, it really tells me that while you might be feeling a little anxious and emotions might be a little bit heightened right now, there is a strong invitation to soften and just really kind of trust the bigger picture, even if we don't really know what the bigger picture looks like. Although I think you do have some idea of what the bigger picture could possibly mean for you. Pisces' energy itself is really layered. It's ruled by Neptune today. It was originally ruled by, It's ruled by Neptune today, which is the planet of illusion, faith, spirituality, dreams. But traditionally, it was ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion and good luck, but also faith as well. Pisces governs the 12th house, so it's the house of hidden matters, private life, your spiritual connection, grief, and karmic releases. It's a heavy house. From the rulership book, Pisces is also connected. I'm just going to take this card, and that's going to be our card for this Pisces full moon. Pisces is connected to abstract thinking, our feet, liquids, disappointment, spirituality, and even the occult. I don't have a good time with Pisces energy. It just has rubbed me the wrong way for a very long time in my life, and it has taught me some really harsh lessons. But to be fair, those harsh lessons have helped me come to myself a lot. I'm a Leo rising, so it's my 8th house. So I've grown a lot because I've dealt with like some people that have Pisces placements. But anyway, I digress. When I put this all together, the Cancer degree, the Sabian symbol, the aspects, I see this full moon as a chance to release wherever you've been too rigid in your beliefs and your expectations. And honestly, just to be fair, where you have been holding on so tightly that you lost your sense of flow, inspiration, creativity, and trust in yourself. Pisces often ask us to soften, to let inspiration move through us, but sometimes because of life, we don't do that. It's going to help us reconnect to our sacral energy, our third eye, and our crown chakra. The Sabian symbol, a flow of inspiration, is about creative. Sorry, I'm reading notes because if I don't, I'll be all over the place. Hello. So the Sabian symbol that I was talking about earlier, the title is A Flow of Inspiration. It's about creative solutions. The key word is ingenuity. I have a really hard time saying that word, but it's ingenuity. It's about the practical application of spiritual power, the ability to see divine inspiration in the most ordinary things and to use it for our everyday problem solving. Leaning more into the Pisces problem solving and less into our rigidity of Virgo problem solving, which has its place. Let's be very real with that. It has its place. On the positive side, it represents originality and inventiveness. On the shadow side, it can lean into self-deception, very Pisces, escapism, very Piscean, preferring the easy way out. So under this Pisces full moon, the invitation is clear. Release perfectionism, the control, the rigidity, so you can open up to inspiration, creativity, and faith. Flow is always available if we stop clinging onto things that we know and even some of our triggers and trauma, and really start trusting in like our higher self. So some ways to like navigate this. I'm an herb candle magic kind of girl. I'm not really going to give you I'm not going to give you any crystals to work with, but making a bath scrub, a body scrub, a bath salt, or even getting your feet massaged would be really good. Some herbs to use would be mugwort for like relaxation and healing, some jasmine for the same, lavender but would feel really lovely. A bath, creating a bath with maybe some rose, some basil, just for that like love on yourself, that healing, that protection. Throw a little lavender, rosemary in there, some salt for protection, cinnamon for abundance and prosperity to make this magic move on would also be quite lovely as well. Like I said, and I hope this is helpful for you. Let me know in the comments how you're going to work with this Pisces full moon. This for me is not a moon to really set intentions, but full moons are never moons for me to set intentions. It's really about releasing. And when it's an eclipse, the energy is kind of chaotic. So I don't really set any intentions that I want to see happen at eclipses. I just kind of go with the flow. And if you like my style, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok more, and I have a new website, so it's going to be in the description. And if you want to if you want to see what this means for your sign, oh my goodness, hello, the card from the Llamas deck, my bad. So the Season of the Witch Oracle, Llamas, because I'm still there. The card that popped out was 5, and 5 is citrine. Confidence is a skill that can be cultivated, and you are now being guided to reach for the light within yourself, which definitely goes along with this full moon, right? We have to come back to trusting ourselves, and not just like the practical and the logical, but sometimes the dreams, the intuition. So I hope, and so citrine might be what's a crystal that you might use in your practice as well as you ritualize this moon. I will see you in the following videos. See you next time. Hi Aries and Aries rising. This is your Pisces full moon video. It is also a lunar eclipse happening September 7th. 12th house for you. The things in the hidden realm, the dreams, the subconscious, the spiritual connection, releasing this need to control how you heal, how you come to terms with the things that you don't really talk about. Before I started the video, a card fell out, and it's the King of Wands, which I would think it is a very fiery card. So it is indicative of you. So this being you, the ability to transmute the trauma, the BS that has been going on, maybe in your daily schedule, maybe with your coworkers, maybe this need to like always try to reinvent yourself and nothing is really working. The Pisces full moon comes into the 12th house and it's like, you know what, you have everything that you need to create something brand new, to heal yourself, to come back to your sacral energy. The King of Wands speaks to a figure who knows his subject. He is creative. He is good with his money. He is good with pleasure, and the people love him, right? He knows how to rule and get everybody on board. And I'm feeling as if this Pisces full moon for you might be an invitation for you to not necessarily get in control, like rigidly get in control of the mess in the background or the mess in your 6th house, like this rigidity to have a perfect daily schedule, perfect co-workers, perfect workout routine, perfect self-care routine, and it's just not in alignment. So the King of Wands comes in because he also knows how to flow. Can you flow? Can you see what opportunities are presenting itself to you at this very moment to have you release and renew and come back to yourself? Can you do that for yourself? I think this is a time for you to come back to yourself in that way and be very confident, very aggressive. Not aggressive, that's not the word. Very assured, because you have been pretending. I don't know. I don't have my little post-its, but so I'll cover their bums. But the moon in reverse came out. And so maybe there's just a lot of stuff that I'll do it like this. So wild. There's just maybe lots of things happening in the background that you have been pretending are not happening in the background. And I really get a sense that it is work things. It is not necessarily a healing thing, but it could be a toxic work environment where you might be the boss of your toxic work environment and they're driving you crazy and it's bleeding over into the subconscious, crazy dreams, just stuff like that. This Pisces full moon is like, hey, how can we not take everything? How can we flow with this instead of taking it, I don't want to say taking it personally because it probably is personal, but take it in a way that like you start setting yourself up for success. A hummingbird is right there. Maybe you start looking for new jobs. Maybe you have a conversation with these employees or your boss or whoever, and you're just like, this is not the vibe. Let me tell you what we need to do, because it's very Aries energy, right? Let me tell you what I've been thinking about, what I've been imagining for an ideal situation in the workplace. I think that is the vibe for you this upcoming Pisces full moon. Please let me know in the comments how this works out for you. All right, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Hi Taurus and Taurus rising, this is your Pisces full moon video. This is happening in your 11th house, that house of hopes, wishes, and dreams. And it's making an opposition to your 5th house, your flirtiness, your dating. your dating life, your children, and also your creative expression. The card that fell out first was the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, which is very much an earth sign card, but in the reverse. With the Pisces full moon in your 11th house, where are you stuck in your hopes, wishes, and dreams? Where have you worked really hard for your hopes, wishes, and dreams, Eight of Pentacles, and you're not seeing the manifestations, you're not seeing the hopes, wishes, and dreams come true, and you're just like, you know what? I think I'm done. I think this is not the vibe. And I think this has a lot to do with maybe your creative expression. You've been leaning into wanting to like make good on your things that you're creating. Like you want to turn that into a career. You're hoping your friends support you. And there's just something like not quite right. Eight of Pentacles in reverse means like things are, you're not patient for them. You're like, hurry up. I've been doing this for 2 months. Everybody should love it now. Everybody should, this should be blowing up. Pisces full moon is like, yeah, it probably should be blowing up. You probably have worked really hard for this. You have done all that you needed to do or you think you should be doing. But can we be a little more like patient? Can we be a little more outside of the box? Can we be a little more in flow instead of the rigidity of like the Taurus loves to be, like the stability, the security, the doing the same thing over and over again? Can we be a little more patient? And I think that's like wild because like fixed signs don't like to be patient at all. But I think this is a time for you to really be like, okay, let me dabble back into, because you know Virgo is in there, and so maybe you just need to, and the South Node is there, so maybe you've been doing the same type of way, same type of dating, same type of trying to get your creative inspiration back, and it's just not working for you. It's just not working for you. So this is the time where we can really kind of release those things on how we thought we would be creating, how we thought we would be dating, how we thought we would be having a good time with our children or something like that, and how you thought your friends, oh, there, she's and come back to the flow. Let's take that. Five of Cups. Yeah, there is this energy of like, woe is me. The people that I thought would really support me, or the things that I thought that would come to fruition are not coming into fruition as quickly or the way I think I want them to come into fruition. But reminder, when we have the Five of Cups in our reading, hello fingers, it lets us know that there are actually two cups. So there are people, there are ways that you can get support. We're just not focused on that. So I don't think this is a do kind of full moon. I think this is kind of a sit and get some clarity on how you can find the ones who are very supportive of your creative expression, and maybe let them know, like, you know what, I've been trying to do this thing and it's not really working out the way I want it to work out. How do I go about it? And those people will come in and kind of support you and help you, and you'll have a little more patience with the journey that you're on. All right, Taurus. All right, I'll see you next time. Hi, Gemini and Gemini rising. This is your Pisces full moon. There's just like some chaos going on over here, and I'm trying to do my best to like ignore it and not give up on making these videos, but every time there's always something. Anyway, this Pisces full moon is happening in your 10th house. It is in a mutable sign, which means it's going to make a hard aspect to your Gemini placements. Your sun, your moon, your rising, your Venus, whatever placement you have in Gemini, it's going to make some connection, especially if it's in the degree in between, let's say, 13 and 19 degrees of Gemini, or any other mutable sign you have. This is going to make a square to you, and so this is asking you for kind of like real practical change in the 10th house, your career. Where have you been holding on really, really tight and not expressing the things that you want, not working on the projects that you want, not sharing your ideas, keeping your ideas to yourself? Or where have the ideas, the projects, the confidence waned off? that you just don't feel like yourself in that space. Your public image, your reputation, your career. There is this lack of feeling like you're birthing new things. The Pisces new moon is like really trying to tell you, especially with the opposition to your home, is like, I don't know if people in the home are making you feel small or making you feel like you can't achieve these things. You can't start new projects. You can't be the empress when it comes to your career. Uranus is in your first house right now, and it's shaking shit up. It's like, who am I? You're the empress. But I think there is the empress. Yeah. I think there is this sense that you don't feel like you are the empress. And let's pull another card. This Pisces new full moon eclipse, of course, is going to eclipse some things out of your life, but also hopefully it eclipses some negative thought patterns you have about how important you are, how creative you are, how powerful you are, and the ability to birth new things in your career space. I don't know what that means for you, changing jobs, being an entrepreneur, whatever that looks like, asking for a promotion. But there is something that is having you feel like you don't have all the pieces, and you can't really make a move unless you have all the pieces, that Virgo-ness, right? We have to kind of let that go and come back into the flow. The other card that came out is Five of Wands in reverse. Maybe you were fighting with yourself mentally, or fighting with other people about like, hello, I am a bossy boss person. Let me show you. And the people in your home or people that are familiar are like, I don't know if that's you. My suggestion to you during this Pisces full moon is, that's going to eclipse, is let go of the people that are not being very supportive of your new ideas, your new project, new you. I do care if it's family, but I also don't care if it's family. If it's people that have been in your life that feel like family, but they're not blood related, or even if it's blood related, you don't have to like go no contact cold turkey. But I think it's time for you to start seeing yourself outside of that situation and come back to yourself, because it has you feeling very unempress-like, okay? And you probably have made it up in your mind already what you want to do and what you need to do. You just haven't like pulled the plug. You haven't put the boundary. You haven't expressed it yet. Pisces new moon. Why do I keep saying new moon? Good grief. This full moon is going to allow you to do that. Let me know how this works out for you, Gemini risings. Hi, Cancer risings, Cancer placements. This is your Pisces full moon video. Thank God I said it correctly this time. The Pisces full moon is happening in your 9th house, which means it's making an opposition to Virgo in your 3rd house. The card that immediately came out when I was shuffling was the 9 of Pentacles. You have worked really, really hard in learning something new. Jupiter in the 1st house for you has really had you expand. And this really, I think, goes along with you expanding in knowledge, your philosophy, where you want to travel, where you want to go. And you have really gained this stability and the security of making things happen. The Nine of Pentacles speaks to harvesting the fruits of our labor. And I think with you, it's about like this Pisces full moon is coming in and saying, hey, you have worked really hard in the areas of gaining more knowledge, philosophy, faith, maybe traveling, but also, have you taken time to appreciate that 9 of Pentacles? Like, are we still continuing to move the bar further and further, and you might feel a little bit burnt out? Can we sit back during this Pisces full moon? Clearly, this is a sign for you to be like, you know what? I have worked really hard. I do have the things that I've desired. I do have the knowledge, the expertise, the ability to travel without thinking like, oh, I need to do more, that Virgo-ness, right? I need to communicate a little bit more. I need to learn a little bit more. Can we sit back and really, funny because when Six of Wands, can you really sit back and just be like, I do have the victory? More so for you in this, because Mars in Libra is squaring Jupiter in your first house. More for you, can you kind of sit back at this month and see where things have really worked out for you, and not need to push yourself a little bit more until you're ready to push yourself a little bit more. You know, there is a difference between pushing yourself that comes internally, and then feeling like other people expect you to push yourself, right? There's a difference there. Can you sit back? These are two very positive cards, but they're also positive cards leading into self-reflection of like, you do have what you need, what you've worked for. You can start feeling yourself, that you have worked very hard, that you do have the victory, you do have the knowledge, you do have the career, you've been able to travel, the legal case was decided in your favor. Like, you don't need to really continue to prove yourself in those areas. You don't really need to continue to communicate with people the things that you know, that how successful you've been, because it just is. So with this Pisces full moon, can you let go this idea of constantly trying to prove yourself, your knowledge, your expertise to other people, because you already have it. You can just kind of sit back, and the people that need to know that will absolutely find it, and the people that are non-believers will fall away anyway during this eclipse. All right, Cancer and Cancer rising, love to know what this, how this works out for you. Please let me know. Hello, Leo and Leo rising. This is your Pisces full moon video, and yeah, here we go. Not only is this full moon happening in the 8th house, Saturn is retrograding back into the 8th house, and it's making an opposition to your 2nd house where Virgo lives. There is this need to release. As a Leo rising, I'm so sick of things in Pisces, honestly. I don't like when the sun is there. I don't like when the moon is there. I don't like when anything is there. It just causes havoc. And please let me know in the comments if you feel this way as well. But anywho, we're going to say that this full moon in Pisces is really an opportunity for you to kind of finally get rid of, release, let go of this need to keep people, intimate partners, business partners, things that people, places, things that you are in relationship to, like resources that are just not viable, that are just not, that constantly drain your self-worth, your value, that just don't uplift you in a way that is beneficial to you. And that is very challenging, because like, why would we want to get rid of people like that? Why? I mean, hello, we do want to get rid of people, but why do we want to get rid of people that we've known for a very long time, and at one point they were really good for us, right? Like, Leo's is a fixed fire sign, not really good at changing, being mutable. And this Pisces full moon is full of mutableness. It is this idea of like, what do I need to release so I can come back into the flow, so I can like see clearly the people, the places, the things that want to be in alignment with me, deeply connected with me. And they also help me maybe build my income, build my self-worth, right? The sun, the card that popped out before I turned on the record button was the sun, which is our card. You know, sometimes it's just hard to take your light away from someone, something, some places, some situations that you have put a ton of light in. And maybe you slowly start to, because this is you. this is you. Not everyone deserves your light. And that's a bummer, but it's also true. And the thought process is, the thing about it is, I'm talking to you as I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself as I'm talking to you. That as you move through this moon cycle with the eclipse attached to it, and the bottom of the deck is the moon, you know, there are only two luminaries, and it's the moon and the sun, and you are represented by the sun. And Pisces does really well in the moon does really well in Pisces, and so there is this sense of like things have been illuminated. The people, the situations, the feelings, all of that has been illuminated, and it will definitely be illuminated during this full moon cycle, because there's going to be an eclipse, right? So the things that need to be released, you kind of let it go, and you probably are not going to even have a choice, which is the bummer. You probably won't even have a choice. You will just have to be like, you'll watch that thing go, you'll have a conversation, something will happen, and you'll be like, all right, we're done. This doesn't make me feel good anymore. It's not working to my benefit. It makes me feel really low about myself, and I can't have that because I am the sun. All right? Take some very deep breaths as we navigate this cycle, because the next moon cycle is the new one, and it'll be in your second house with an opposition to your 8th house, right? So like for the last 3, it has been playing on this you versus your intimate relationships, you versus your shared resources and finances, you versus the other person, their money, your money versus their money, you versus them. And this is a time where we have to really come to realization that they might not be the best for us. They might not be the best for us. Let me know how this is working out for you in the comments, and I will see you in a couple of weeks, Leo risings. Hello, Virgo risings, Virgo moons, Virgo Venuses. Welcome to your full moon and Pisces lunar eclipse video happening in your 7th house. Those contract relationships are done. Okay? The card that came out, which is really, really funny because I'm going to take it as you, is the sun. The sun is in Virgo, right? It's in your 1st house. Now, let's look at what is happening in your 7th house, where this moon will be. Saturn's retrograding there at the 29th degree, signaling endings to critical degree. Let's talk about Uranus squaring that house. What partnerships? This could be like this is one-to-one relationships. It could be marriage, but if you're not married, it's anyone that you're in a contractual relationship with, your astrologer, your therapist, anyone like that. Who is not supportive? Who is not helping you shine? Who is bringing you down? Who is being highly critical, judgmental, a disappointment? Who is doing that in your life right now? And whoever it is, it's time for you to just be like, this could be like, because it's going to make so many aspects to your 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th house. This could be people in your home. This could be career. This could be so many things. But who is not allowing, what is not allowing you to shine? Take that knowledge, that awareness now, and see how you can release it. Let it go. And of course, it's not going to be easy. Of course, it's going to be a little bit challenging and maybe slightly sad, and what I need for you to do is think about yourself first. Virgos tend to, I don't care what people say, I love them. And so what they tend to do is think about everybody else and what everybody else needs and wants and desires and would think of them, and then think about themselves last. So I'm gonna need you to do like a Leo. Well, what people think about Leo is put yourself first. Leo's really not like that, and put yourself first, because once you put yourself first and you allow yourself to just kind of be a little more of like your sister sign, see what happens, go with the flow, vibe a little bit. Funny that your sister card came out, the Hangman in reverse, meaning make a decision and let those things go. Right? Hangman this way means like, oh, you don't know. You're in between and you're kind of like hesitant and pausing. You could move forward, but you just don't really want to, because the Hangman like this can get off. I sounded crazy. He can release himself. But it came out like this, so I'm assuming that like you know how to release these people. You know how to let go of them. You want to let go of them. You just need that extra little push. This lunar eclipse is that extra little push for you, Virgo. You need it. You also deserve to be set free so you can shine like the sun. I also want you to think about it in terms of vibing, in terms of flowing, that you might not have the perfect big picture of what would happen when you release, that you might not have the perfect idea. I know. But this Pisces full moon wants you to let go of this rigidity on not knowing what's going to happen next. What's going to happen if you let that person go. Probably is going to be better than what it is right now. Let's be honest. It's probably going to be better what it is right now. So can you release, let go, so you can shine the way you're been meant to shine? All right, I will see you when you have another new moon in your first house in a couple of weeks. I hope this is helpful. Let me know in the comments if it was. Hi, Libra and Libra rising. This hair, you know, being a Leo rising is really challenging when it comes to hair. Like, good Lord. Anyway, Libra risings, Libra moons. I'm a Libra moon. Anyway, this video is your Pisces full moon video happening September 7th, also happening in your 6th house. Who are you fighting with at work? 7 of Wands came out. Who are you fighting with about making yourself a priority, taking care of your mental health, your physical health? What colleague, what coworker is trying to mess with your daily schedule? And how can you, during this full moon, either one, have a conversation with them and be like, no, let's put some boundaries here. 2, start looking for something very different. 3, I like 1 and 2, honestly. But 3 would be, how can you somehow come back to yourself, connect with this like flow energy, especially Mars and Libra right now probably has you wanting to tell this energy real hard. Like, please leave my stuff alone. Please don't talk to me that way. Please don't put another thing on my calendar. I didn't tell you I would show up to that meeting. And you have other things to do. I think this Pisces full moon is really going to have you saying your piece, placing some boundaries, or finding ways that you can manage that are a little more healthy. And not, because I feel like Libras can do it in a very healthy way, but I think this might be you communicating it in a vibey way, communicating in a way, hey girl, hey, I know that you did this, but like my calendar ends at 4 p.m. or whatever it might be. And you not caring about the fairness. Like, oh, is this fair? Is this balanced? Is like, no. This is what I need to feel good in my body, in my brain, in my energy realm. This is what I need. And I'm going to say it in a very diplomatic way, but also I'm not going to cut you any slack on the boundary. I think because there's this opposition to Virgo in the 12th house, you might not say the things. You might just be holding it in when in reality you needed to have several conversations a long time ago, but you've been too scared to have these conversations because you didn't want to risk hurting somebody's feelings, the Fool in reverse. You didn't want to risk, I don't know, losing your job, losing the connections, losing something. But in reality, what you have really lost is your peace of mind, your ability to flow, yourself. So during this Pisces full moon, if there are conversations that you need to have, if there are boundaries that need to be placed so you can feel more aligned, and you've been too nervous to draw a line in the sand, you've been too scared, too nervous, too whatever, to draw this line in the sand, this is time for you to draw the line in the sand in a very Libra-esque, charming, charismatic way, the way a Libra can, the way that y'all are, right? I'm a Libra moon, so, I gets it. Especially with Mars there. Like, allow yourself to say the things and say it in the way that you guys, you can say it that's very diplomatic. But they need to be said, Libra. Pisces full moon, lunar eclipse is like, say the things or something's going to be done and it's going to happen anyway. So let it be diplomatic before you reach the boiling level and you say something that there is no return from. All right? All right, I'll see you next month. Hopefully this was helpful. Hi, Scorpio, Scorpio rising, Scorpio placements. This is your Pisces full moon. Pisces moons, makes a nice aspect to your water placement. So, I don't know if this is going to be as challenging for you because a Pisces full moon lunar eclipse is very Scorpio. Let's just be honest. It's very Scorpio honestly. This is happening in your 5th house of your children, dating, romance, creative expression. And the cards that fell out as I was shuffling are, please stand on business. Whatever creative expression, whatever boundary you're setting, whatever communication that you're giving to people that you're dating, to your children, to yourself, stand on business. Let this need for perfectionism and this, I need more rest, I need more time to put it out there, scram. Or I need the right people. We always need the right people, but I need the right circumstances and the right conditions, the right this to express myself, to start dating, to start letting people know that I'm putting myself out there. You don't. This is the right time. All you have is right now. There's that quote in Unfaithful, which is one of my favorite movies. Don't even ask me why, but he's told her to open that book and it's all super sexy and romantic and all you have is, paraphrasing, he's quoting it from, oh my god, girl, I can't even tell this damn story. All you have is this moment right now. And the King of Swords, the Ace of Wands, and the Four of Swords is about stand on business so you can really be open to the new opportunities. Stop saying you're tired. Stop saying you need more rest. Stop saying all of these things, because the more you say it, the more it embodies you. And maybe you do need rest, and maybe you do need a little bit of space. But do you need it all the time? Especially when, how we say things when things are not going our way. We're like, oh, I just need a little more. And we consistently say that when things aren't going our way, instead of just being okay, I'm going to take a little bit of break. I don't like the way this is working out, and then I'm going to get back on it. That's what I'm getting the vibes from you, especially because it's making the opposition to the 11th house. So maybe you think the friends have to be perfect. You have to be in the perfect network to see your creative self come into fruition, to see that perfect partner come into fruition, to see that perfectness. There's this it just has to be right. And if it's not right, then I'm not doing it, which is kind of Scorpio, which is really funny because, there's that saying that a Virgo is just a Scorpio with its legs crossed, right? I feel for you, it is really time to not necessarily start trying to manifest these things, because during an eclipse, I'm not a huge fan of manifesting because that energy is chaotic. But it is a time to see where you might need to let some things go, some perfectionism, some rigidity on how you're dating, of how you're expressing yourself, and the expectations that you might have put on the groups that you're in to help support you. Maybe it's not the right group. Maybe you need a new group to help support you. But you do need to communicate this to, I'm getting more yourself than anything. But there is this, like, all I keep hearing is stand on business. I don't know what that really means for y'all because I'm not a psychic. But I get this idea that, like, stop playing with your stuff. That every time I say something like that, it comes out wrong. Stop playing small. Stop being so judgmental and critical of your own desires and things that you want to get done. And when they don't work out the way that you just are like, ugh, well, I'm just gonna not. No. We need to look outside the box. We need to think a little bit different. We need to maybe align ourselves with some people who are a little more vibey, that are in our area of expertise, whether it's singing, dancing, healing, whatever the hell you do. We need to be in more alignment with that. And maybe it's about finding a more masculine energy to help you out. Like, I love these cards there because they're all like women in the cards, but like maybe more of an aggressive masculine energy to help you see what you might not really be seeing. So this Pisces full moon really released this kind of meh, and I'm not ready yet. It's not perfect yet. I'm not with the perfect people. The perfect people are just not showing up. Your people will find you. You need to be out there doing the do. Okay? Okay. I will see you in a couple of weeks. Hello, Sagittarius and Sag risings, or any big Sag placement, Sag moon, Venus, whatever, if you're watching this. This is the Pisces full moon lunar eclipse video for you, happening in your 4th house. It is going to make a hard aspect to your Sag placements because it's another mutable sign. Saturn also might be making a hard aspect depending on what degrees you have your Sag placements. But anywho, let's talk about this need to, this want, this desire to take a risk in your home life, in your familial situation, your domestic life. Maybe move, but things are just not super perfect. Like, you don't have all the pieces together yet, and you're like, I can't do it. I'm not saying move yet. What I am saying is be open to the possibilities of moving or changing your housing situation, whether that's redecorating the housing, bringing people into the house, moving people out of the house. There is something about moving, and it might be because you got new money or maybe less money has come in, but there is this idea of like, we were waiting for everything to be perfect, and the Pisces full moon is like, we can't really wait for everything to be perfect, right? Like, what does perfection look like? I'm saying this because the card that popped out when I was shuffling before I pushed record is the Fool card. Very much taking the risk. And when we look at the Fool card, there's this dog. So this might be family that's like, don't go, don't, people at your work, don't do this yet, whatever. Somebody saying like, don't do it, pulling you back. And you're like, you know what? The sun got me. I have my bag, right? I don't know if you guys can see it. I have my bag of the things that I've learned in this life. I have experience, I have knowledge, I have effort, I have all these things, and I will be guided no matter where I go, whether it's off this cliff, whether it's back to the city. I love this card so much, and I have learned to love it a lot more as I've been practicing tarot, because it's the idea of like not being reckless when you're taking a risk, but it's a calculated risk, and knowing that it gives me always the vision of like, as soon as you take that first step, another step appears. And maybe this is it for you, releasing this like perfectionism of like needing to know how the housing situation is going to work out, or even the career situation is going to work out, but something is out of alignment and you really need to move forward into something brand new, but you can't really see how you get there. Allow this full moon to show you what needs to be done with, get rid of. I feel like I'm going to pull the top card, because there is this idea of like, you've been hearing it. I always think the Judgment card is the call is coming from inside the house, right? And so it's not necessarily other people, it's you. At least in my perspective and my intuition is saying right now, this could be people in the home pushing you. You're like, you know, them judging me is not the vibe. It could literally mean people judging you and you're like, I'm done. I'm ready to go. I'm leaving this place. I don't need to be judged like that, especially because with the Virgo energy there, that judgment. This could also be judging yourself, being very hard on yourself, of being like, I should have been in this place already. I should have moved out already. I should have kicked this person out already. I should have leveled up in my career already, whatever it might be. And this Pisces full moon is like, stop that. Stop it. All we are doing right now is our best. And now that you have this awareness, let's watch what happens over next weekend, the 7th through the 9th. What falls away to give you some clarity on how you move forward. And if you still really want to take that risk, please still take that risk. That's super sweet, super lovely. I love that for you. You should. I'll see you in a couple of weeks where you have another Virgo new moon. All right. Hello, Capricorn. Capricorn risings, big Capricorn placements. This is your full moon in Pisces video, and it's happening in your third house of communicating, teaching, short distance travel, your relationship, your siblings, relationships with your siblings or female relatives. Pisces full moon here is like, all right, and the card that came out is like, I think there's some hidden things. Maybe you want to travel some places. Maybe you want to teach other places. Maybe you want to communicate some things to people that might be a little like, eek. And the card that came out when I was shuffling the deck is the moon. Okay, hello, the moon card. I gotta cover up their bits for YouTube because who knows what'll happen. Anyway, the moon card means there's something in the hidden realm that's going to be illuminated during this full moon in Pisces for you. Whether it is this need to be perfect when it comes to communicating your wants, your needs, your desires in your community, in your neighborhood, or even if it's about communicating how you're teaching or learning something new. There's just something that is just not flowing or vibing well with it right now. And you really don't know how to navigate it. You don't know whether to continue on this journey of learning something new, teaching something new, or communication. There's just like this idea of communication that just really is like communicating. There is something that is just holding you back from communicating your wants, your needs, your desires. Maybe you don't think you're going to say it in the right way. Maybe you don't think the people that you need to communicate it to will actually listen to it or hear what you're trying to say. And the Pisces full moon is like, we can't control how other people receive what we're saying, what we're doing. We can't control the way that we say it, right? But also, like, once they hear it, that's out of our control. And so the opportunity for you all during this Pisces full moon is letting go this perfectionism of communication, of not saying enough, not saying it because you think it's going to hurt somebody's feelings or it's going to rub people the wrong way or it's going to be miscommunicated, because there's been something that's been on your mind for a while, 8 of Cups, and you've been thinking about walking away. Maybe it is a teaching engagement. Maybe it is a relationship with the sibling or some female relatives that you are just like, nah, I'm good. Maybe it is this traveling because it's also making oppositions to your 9th house. So like, maybe you are like, I don't know if I want to travel or take this course anymore. It doesn't feel as good as it did when I first started it, but I don't want to be a quitter. Very Capricorn-y, very Virgo-y as well. There is this need to come back to yourself, to listen to your intuition and then move forward. But it is not lost on me that both these cards have full moons in them. There's something around this full moon that is going to be very illuminating to you. It's going to highlight your wants, your needs, your desires, and it's also going to give you the space and the ability to move forward, even if it's a struggle, even if you've just been thinking about it, even if it might be sad and hurtful. Not necessarily hurtful for you, yeah, and hurtful, you might grieve over. Give yourself some space this weekend. Give yourself some time to gain some clarity. No need to make really rushed decisions about how to move forward, but I do want you to think about it, gain some clarity, take a bath, soak in it, take a shower, take several. Just let the water run over you. Pisces and Capricorn make a harmonious aspect. So it's like, it can work well. It might be the push you need to get you back to yourself. All right? All right. See you next time, Capricorn. Hi, Aquarius and Aquarius rising. This is your Pisces full moon video. It is happening in your second house with an opposition to your 8th house. So just like Leo risings, you know, this is not like a super lovely moon. It's a realization kind of moon. It's one of these moons that, especially in the second house, is like, where's your self-worth? Where have you maybe been so hard on yourself and dependent on other people to validate you and rely on them for income, and they're just not the vibe, or they've been too rigid and you haven't been able to flow in the way that you want it to flow. You haven't been able to trust yourself in the way that you would typically trust yourself. I think, and I'm saying this because you have all the ability to make the income, to value yourself. You are highly capable, highly intuitive, highly worthy of creating something that brings material possessions and income into you. You are worthy of all the great affirmations of thinking very highly of yourself. But I feel like there could be somebody out there that's like nitpicking at you or poking at you, like being very judgmental, and it's like, no, because you didn't have this, and now you're like feeling some type of way. And it's really funny because the two cards that I got are the Page of Wands in reverse and the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles speaks, somebody else got this and I can't remember, but it speaks to harvesting the fruits of our labor. You've made it. You've worked really hard. You now have the money. You have the stability. You have the resources, and like you can kind of hang out. The Page of Wands speaks of to not having somebody young, a messenger, not coming in and offering opportunities of fun, pleasure, joy, creative expression. And I think in the second house, sometimes a lot of the times we are really dependent on other people valuing us to show us our self-worth. And like, that could be generational. It could be because of the family we grew up in, whatever. I know that I have that issue and I've been working through it for quite a long time. And I want this new moon, if I say new moon one more time, and I don't know why I keep saying it, because maybe I wish it was a new moon. This full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces to show you that you are worthy. You do have the resources. You do have the income. You can start building. You are stable. You have worked really hard. And you do have the ideas to create more and make more. So if you're feeling like, no, you're not at the Nine of Pentacles yet, then all right, you do have the ability. Don't let that other person come in and like shake you, shake your roots, invalidate you. It is not time to be super self-critical or allow other people to be super self-critical of you, because you're doing your best and you're doing all the things that you need to do. Maybe this is time for you to really come back to yourself and be like, I didn't actually really need that person. They have been draining me. They've been making me feel like I don't have it all, and I kind of do. And it doesn't always have to be money, specifically in the second house. It can be just like self-worth things. So for this new, oh my God, for this full moon, Allow yourself to be quiet, to sit and like maybe do a list of all the things that you're grateful for, all the things that you're good at, all the things that you've accomplished in the last 6 months, really the last 6 months. Let yourself really hone in on that. And then think about who is not aligned with that, who has not validated that. What people, what places, which situations have not, and those are the things that need to fall away. Okay? Okay. See you next time. Pisces, start of the show. Let me show you the card that popped out when I was like shuffling. 8 of Cups. Big full moon, big water energy. Let things go, release it. This is full moon is happening in your first house, and it is a lunar eclipse. Hello. 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 Two things can be true at the same time, Pisces. You can love to dream, be vibey, be mutable, and also need some kind of structure, routine, that Virgo-ness. I want to say to you that this might be a moon for you to think about yourself above all else, to realize there needs to be a balance in this kind of like, let's just see where things go. Let's just vibe with it, because whoever you're dealing with in the 7th house of Virgo is sick of that shit. So it's time for you really during this Pisces full moon to be like, do I let that person go? Do I let those relationships go because I love being in flow, in like the what if space, the very Piscean space, which is lovely if you're not dragging somebody along that does not want to be there? Is it time for you to leave that space, or is it time for you to leave that idea? There is this idea that there is this ability to be able to balance both if you really wanted to. I'm not 100% sure that you really want to. This is going to be this moon is not easy for any of us, right? But in the first house, it's you deciding how you want to navigate who you are in opposition to your one-to-one relationships. So it's about like, do you want to continue in those one-to-one relationships? Do you want to or do you not? This moon card there's only 12 signs. Maybe 4 of the signs had this moon card come in. This moon for you is really going to illuminate how you want to move forward, who you leave behind. And I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing, because it's like not who you leave behind, but the ideas that you leave behind, this thought process that you leave behind. And with that, there will be some change. There will be some releasing. There will be some letting go. You probably have had it in the back of your mind for a long time, and you just haven't been ready to pull the plug. But I'm going to tell you right now, the the people that you're involved in one-to-one relationships are also feeling it as well. So you are not the only one feeling it. All of us are feeling this pull between like the Virgo and the Piscean in us, right? And so I think if you're dealing with another water sign or a person that has a lot of water placements, they're also thinking the same thing that you're thinking. So I think it's just time to really have a conversation, really coming to terms with what you want to do. And if you don't have the conversation, the eclipse will eclipse it out of your life anyway. And I would rather you take control of the situation, be in control of the narrative, than letting the narrative happen to you. Okay? Okay. See you in a couple of weeks when the new moon is back into your 7th house, and you can have this rigmarole all over again if you didn't make any decisions this time around. And to be fair, this is for all of us. Whatever we let be loosey-goosey here for all the signs. So I'm not like signaling you. I'm just signaling you out of all the signs. But like, this is for all of us. Whatever we didn't like tighten up at the first Virgo new moon, and then at this full moon in Pisces, we gonna see again at the end, towards the end of September. So we could either do it now or at the 29th degree of Virgo when Saturn is there. Please, please. Let me know how this is gonna, let me know how you would love for this to work out for you, and then come back and tell me how it worked out for you, Pisces. All right, see you next time. If you made it all the way through, thank you. If you clicked the timestamp for the conclusion, this is going to be a challenge. I think it's going to be one of the most challenging full moons this year, and we're just going to have to navigate it the best that we can. There is a lot of space for us to be creative in the way that we solve problems and the way that we release things. There's so many other aspects that are going to go on this week that are not just the full moon. So look at your chart and see what it looks like on September 7th. If you love to work with me, my link is in the bio, vibeswithintuitivelyD.com. I also do restorative workshop. Hello, I teach restorative yoga, and I have a Pisces full moon workshop in Los Angeles, California, September 7th. Would love to see you there. And yeah, there's a lot of things I do. So just click on the link and see if any of those would be of interest to you. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks.